This telecast is not copyrighted by the WWAN for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the WWAN's consent is not prohibited.
The Worldwide Ahdurin Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Kanto Championship. The following championship matchup is brought to you by Pokemart, the official retail sponsor of the Pokemon League, and by Miracle Cycle, Ride into the Future. Hello everyone and welcome to the Kanto Championship pregame show on WWAN 40.9. I'm your host, Ahdurin himself, as we get set for this ultimate championship game on the Worldwide Ahdurin Network. Now I'll be giving you a rundown of what will be starting up in just a few minutes, so let's give a brief overview of what exactly is going on for those of you who don't know. So in the Pokemon world, we have trainers across the land trying to prove that they are the best. To prove this, they undergo the Pokemon League Challenge, where they must beat 8 gym leaders across the Kanto region. Now once they do so, they become eligible to participate in the Elite Four Challenge, where they face off against 4 of the most powerful trainers in the region back to back. 4 straight challenges with the same team of Pokemon, and you can only heal between battles. It's been a long time since someone has completed this particular challenge during a season, and this year we have 2 young boys that have done exactly that. Now first up comes Blue. Blue is the grandson of the famous Pokemon researcher Professor Oak, and has lived up to the reputation so far. Constantly going forward in his path, he moved from Palatown and took the region by storm. His all-star squad consists of Arcanine, Exeggutor, Machamp, Pidgeot, Rhyperior, and Tyranitar. On the other side of the arena, we have Red. Now, Red has been a long-time rival of Blue and has been one step behind Blue his entire career, according to an interview with him done yesterday. He's been in major events as well, and can be credited officially with the takedown of Team Rocket, the villainous group that's been causing all sorts of criminal actions across the region. The team that helped him with this cause: Blastoise, Charizard, Lapras, Pikachu, Snorlax, and Venusaur. Now, we've been anticipating this matchup all week long, and we asked our panel of experts who they thought would win. Of our 8 different trainers, we had an even split between Red and Blue. A lot of people say that Blue is a much more tactical, a methodical type individual, while Red is much more passionate with this type of ideas. Blue is very strategic based, Red is very passionate based. This is anyone's game, and it starts in less than a minute. So, as the trainers walk out onto the field, let's go over the rules of this matchup. So, this is a 6-on-6 matchup, meaning both teams can use all 6 of their available slots. When 3 Pokemon on one side are knocked out, we'll take a short break. This will be like halftime in a sports game. So the trainers have the ability to think of different strategies and focus on what to improve upon, what to change. On the other side, we will be focusing on taking a break and going over what type of things we liked and didn't like from each of their trainers. Now, here's the big rule about this matchup that's very different than others. They cannot switch Pokemon. Once a Pokemon is out there, it is out there. This is very important. This also includes during the break, which means that this could be very important of a strategy for the person that loses 3 Pokemon. The winner, of course, is the trainer with remaining Pokemon left over. In other words, the first one to lose all 6 of them lose the match. So with that out of the way, both of the trainers are getting the rules from the referee, and we'll be underway. Again, remember, this is the radio version of this. If you would like to watch this live with other commentators, all you have to do is go to WWAN's TV channel, depending on your local listing, and watch the match from there. I would love it, however, if you stayed on here and checked out the match here live on the radio. We are just about to get underway, both of the trainers. There's the shaking of the hands as they walk over to the side, and I'm curious what type of strategy each of these guys will use. Who will they start off with? What type of team do they have? And let's go. There we go. Red sends out his first Pokemon. It's a Pikachu. Blue sends out his first Pokemon. It's an Exeggutor. The referee waves the flag up in the air. It is down, and the match begins. Pikachu running up down the field. Remember, this field is about the size of about like a basketball court. So Pikachu zooming from sideline to sideline, trying to find a way to confuse Exeggutor, who seems to be focusing very hard on itself. I wonder what it's trying to do. Pikachu, thinking it has an advantage, jumps up in the air, uses a Thunderbolt, hits Exeggutor right in the left egg. Ooh, that's gotta leave a mark, although it's not very effective. Executor's other faces, however, still seem to be focusing on something. I wonder what it's gonna do. And it blasts out a Trick Room. That's a very interesting strategy here. Executor going for Trick Room, which means the slower Pokemon are going to be able to move faster. The faster Pokemon are going to move slower. So Executor now has the speed advantage over the very, very quick Pikachu. Executor again focusing, its eyes turn blue, and bam, that's a Psychic. Bouncing Pikachu across the room, using the Trick Room walls to its advantage, bouncing it like it's a paddle ball almost. Executor bouncing down. Pikachu, however, it lands on its feet, starts running up, electric bolts floating around it, and there we go, that's a Volt Tackle. Slams into Executor, bounces off the wall himself. That might be a disadvantage at this point. Does this cause a lot of damage? No, it's going to be enough. Executor still standing on its feet. Focusing, its leaves are moving around, and that's a Leaf Storm. Blasting towards Pikachu. All these leaves, Pikachu unable to avoid it all, and he is knocked out. That's the first knockout of the match today. Executor, however, looking like it's a little bit weaker after using that Leaf Storm. As you know, using the Leaf Storm uses a lot of special attack, which means it might be lowered down a little bit. Here comes Red now, deciding who's next on the matchup to go against Executor. And Red's going to go with Snorlax. Okay, this is interesting. Red's using Snorlax, which means that Red actually can take advantage of the Trick Room while it's still out there. So, Snorlax is technically the faster Pokemon on the field right now compared to the slower, the technically slow but faster, in this case, Executor. So, here comes Snorlax, and the flag waves for the second matchup. Snorlax running up. Look at that Snorlax go. What a speedy Snorlax. This guy looks like he's a halfback of an American football team. Running towards Executor, uses a Crunch attack. That's not gonna knock him out. Executor uses Explosion. Oh my goodness. What a strategy by Blue. They decide to use Explosion to do as much damage as they could before Snorlax could knock them out completely. And Snorlax looks definitely shocked by that. Still standing up, but that is an interesting strategy used by Blue. As Executor is knocked out, Blue's thinking of the next Pokemon to change. So while you cannot switch out Pokemon, you can of course use Explosion to effectively do a lot of damage to another Pokemon. That seems to be the strategy that Blue used. Here comes Machamp coming out onto the field for Blue. Flag waves. There's the matchup. Machamp looks particularly slow. It's actually faster in the case because Trick Room is still in effect. So Machamp is actually slower than Snorlax as it goes for a dynamic punch. And look at this Machamp go. Bam! Snorlax bounces off the wall. Going down, and he looks very, very confused right now. Side effect of dynamic punch. Snorlax, of course, spinning around in a circle, uses Shadow Ball, and it's bouncing off all of the Trick Room walls. Bounces, and it gets a lucky hit on Machamp. Hits him right in one of the arms. Hits him right in the right arm, the top right arm to be exact, as Trick Room seems to be fading out. And it does. Trick Room is out, which means the faster Pokemon are going to be able to move faster. In this case, that means Snorlax, since it's faster. Apparently, this Machamp is particularly slow. So, Snorlax, running around in a circle, effectively, looking like a Spinda. Up, it snaps out of its confusion. Oh, he's charging into Machamp. Uses Giga Impact. What a hit by Snorlax. Machamp flies practically across the table. Or should I say the stadium. Flies across the stadium. It falls down, still there. It looks like it's grabbing something out of its belt. And it chucks it at Snorlax. Is that allowed? It's using Fling. It's using Fling and actually throws an Iron Ball at Snorlax. What a throw. And that's a beautiful strategy. The Iron Ball seemed to be slowing down Machamp. Now Machamp is actually faster. It's going to go for a Stone Edge. Slams the ground. Snorlax bounces up after getting hit with the Iron Ball. And Snorlax is out of the match. That's it for Snorlax, who put up a hard fight. Machamp out here, I'm telling you, Blue, as we mentioned before, Blue does a lot of strategic-based things. Giving Machamp an Iron Ball was something that I don't think many of us thought was going to be the case, as Red decides who the next Pokemon on the list is going to be. And Red, going through his decisions, he's going to summon out his Lapras. Alright, let's see what Lapras can do here. Lapras looks to be even faster than Machamp. Lapras just goes straight up, eyes are blue, hits Machamp, Psychic, throws him out of the stadium, and Machamp is done for. That is the end of Machamp after getting Snorlax. What a quick victory for Lapras. And now Blue's got to decide who's going to go up against a fully healthy Lapras. So Blue makes his decision, throws the Pokeball, and it's going to be a Tyranitar as Sandstream takes effect. There's a Sandstorm on the field right now. I'm not sure how anybody's able to see this. Luckily, we're able to from the booth, but I am very, very confused if the trainers can even see what's going on, let alone the Pokemon. Of course, Tyranitar probably has a distinct advantage here. So, here goes the move, and the match begins up between these two. Lapras charging forward. Now, it's not in water, but surprisingly, this Lapras is particularly fast. Goes for a body slam, hits Tyranitar right across the body, stumbles backwards, but while it's stumbling backwards, Tyranitar, kicking its leg out, uses a low kick, hits Lapras right back as it bounces back effectively. And now the Sandstorm continuing. Lapras takes a little bit of damage. Its eye looks to be really struggling to get through the Sandstorm. Lapras focusing very carefully, uses a Blizzard attack, a very inaccurate but powerful attack, and it hits Tyranitar right in the face. Ooh, that's got to be particularly cold for Tyranitar, who uses an Earthquake. The room particularly shaking right now. As you can see, it's maybe even shaking the stadium right now. Still in effect slightly. You can kind of feel it as the Sandstorm continues. Lapras gonna go for Brine, trying to take a quick rainstorm on this Tyranitar as it uses another low kick. Both of those moves hit. Sandstorm continuing. Lapras focusing very hard, trying to figure out what type of thing it can do, as well as Red trying to figure out what type of move Lapras is able to use. As the Sandstorm continuing, Lapras charges up again, uses another body slam, hits Tyranitar, but Tyranitar pushes Lapras onto the ground, uses an Earthquake right next to Lapras. That's gotta hurt. Lapras is out. Lapras is unable to finish up that match, and that is going to end it here for the break. That's 3 Pokemon out for Red as the Sandstorm continues onto the field. It's going to be waved off. They bring out a cast form using Sunny Day to calm the weather as both teams will take a break right here. We're already halfway through this matchup. We shall see what happens in the second half a little bit after this. Alright, welcome to the halftime show brought to you by Pokemart. Now, this has been a very, very interesting matchup so far, according to the analysis and what we've written down on the cheat sheet, effectively. Red right now has used a variety of different Pokemon. It's used Pikachu, Snorlax, and Lapras, which are varying types of Pikachu, a very quick-hitting type Pokemon. Snorlax, a very bulky, defensive, yet it has the ability to really pack a punch, and Lapras, a more of a special attacking Pokemon. So you can see Red's using a particularly distinctly different group of Pokemon here, while Blue so far has used pretty much the same type of Pokemon. Slow, powerful Pokemon. You could see Blue's strategy as soon as he started out. Executor going for the Trick Room, allowing for its slower Pokemon to be faster. Executor goes for the hard-hitting moves. Machamp going for hard-hitting moves. Tyranitar using the Sandstorm to its advantage. We really have to see what type of strategy Red's going to do from here to balance out this sort of act, because while this is still a close matchup right now, Red has lost 3 Pokemon, but Blue has lost 2 already, so it's not particularly far-reaching to say that Red could win this match, but of course Blue does definitely have the advantage. The big thing that I want to see from Red is how Red's going to be able to counteract this Sandstorm. Clearly, if Lapras was able to survive one more turn, which I think it would be able to do if the Sandstorm wasn't in effect, it probably would have been able to take out Tyranitar. I'm curious though, with Red's remaining Pokemon of Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur, will those 3 guys be able to get through the Sandstorm? None of them have any particular advantages in the Sandstorm, while Blue's team includes guys such as Arcanine, which is going to be in a disadvantage, but it also includes Rhyperior, who may have special benefits from being in the Sandstorm. So, I'm curious as to see what exactly is going to happen in the second half. Both trainers are focusing in the box, trying to figure out what's going on. We'll be right back with the beginning of the second half right after this. And we're back. Red and Blue are back inside the box. The referee walking up in there. Blue summons out his Tyranitar to bring back the Sandstream and continue from where they left off. And now Red's got to make a big decision here. What type of Pokemon will he go for? I would assume Charizard is not the option here, because Tyranitar has already proven to know Rock Slide. So it's going to be either Blastoise or Venusaur, and sure enough, it's Blastoise coming out onto the field. Ref waves the flag, and here we go. Blastoise focusing, pushing forward, and it uses a Flash Cannon, hits Tyranitar right in the face. I don't think Tyranitar was expecting a Flash Cannon used by Blastoise. Tyranitar punching the ground, summons a bunch of rocks, using Rock Slide, hits Blastoise as well. Both of these guys focusing, trying to combat this Sandstorm, although Tyranitar, as I mentioned before, has a distinct advantage. Blastoise, oh, it's going to use a Focus Blast. This is a very interesting move. Is it going to hit? It goes off to the side. Looks like it missed. No, it hits Tyranitar. Tyranitar goes down. The Sandstorm continuing. Blastoise takes the hit from the Sandstorm, but Tyranitar goes down. It is unable to get back up. Now comes the decision by Blue. Is he going to summon out Rhyperior to continue this advantage of the Sandstorm? No! Interestingly enough, okay. This is very interesting. Surprisingly, Blue is going to summon out his Pidgeot for some reason. Let's see what type of strategy he's got here. Blue obviously knows exactly what type of strategy he's going for. The curious thing to think of is whether or not Red can figure it out. Flag Waves, matchup begins. Blastoise uses a Blizzard. A lot of people saw that coming, a Water type knowing Blizzard. Goes for Blizzard, it hits. Pidgeot uses Double Team. Oh, this is very interesting here. The Sandstorm continues, but Pidgeot eats a Citrus Berry. What a strategy here. It's trying to stall out effectively and see if it can have Blastoise miss a bunch of different moves. Blastoise now going to use a Flash Cannon. That hits Pidgeot. The Double Team does not take effect, and Pidgeot looks like it's a lot weaker when it comes to special moves. Pidgeot going to charge in towards Blastoise, goes for a return, and hits Blastoise right in the shell, although it doesn't look like Blastoise took a lot of damage from that. Sandstorm continuing, both teams taking a hit from there. Blastoise focusing its cannons. Oh, here we go. Blastoise's ultimate move. Bang! That's a Hydro Cannon hitting straight at Pidgeot. The Double Team doesn't work at all. Pidgeot goes down. The Sandstorm continuing, but Blastoise out here being basically, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first Pokemon to survive multiple Pokemon, to take down multiple guys. Well, this Blastoise has been putting in work alright, and now to see what type of strategy Blue uses. And here comes Blue. Now remember, Blastoise has to recharge, which could give Blue an advantage here. And he's going to summon out Rhyperior. This is interesting because Blue knows, obviously, Blastoise has both a Water-type move and an Ice-type move. So Blastoise will recharge once the flag is waved. There we go. Flag is waved. Blastoise still trying to charge itself back up. Rhyperior rushing up, trying to take advantage of it. Goes for Thunderfang. It hits Blastoise. A super effective Thunderfang. That's why he was waiting for Rhyperior, trying to stall out some damage here before Rhyperior could go and finish him off. The Sandstorm continues. Hits Blastoise. Blastoise goes for a Flash Cannon. Hits Rhyperior, bouncing off its arm. There's a lot of debris on the stadium, and Rhyperior using an Earthquake of its own. The Sandstorm continuing. Somehow this Blastoise is still up. I don't know how he is. Blastoise goes for another Hydro Cannon. Bang! Rhyperior, one hit, goes down after the Flash Cannon, and a big Hydro Cannon here. Rhyperior goes down. The Sandstorm continuing, and Blastoise faints from the Sandstorm. Oh my goodness. Blastoise faints from the Sandstorm. That's a double knockout right here. And now both trainers have to decide which Pokemon is next. Although it's fairly obvious for what Blue is about to do. Blue only has one guy left. Arcanine is the only Pokemon remaining for Blue. Here comes the strategy. What will Red do? Obviously knowing what's going to go on. What will he do? He goes for Venusaur. This is an interesting situation. I wonder why he's going to go for Venusaur when it's at a distinct disadvantage. Interesting. Well, as we know, we mentioned before, Red battles with passion rather than strategy. So hopefully we can see if his strategy of being passionate about Venusaur can outweigh Blue's strategy of last man standing. So, flag waves, matchup begins. Venusaur going to go for a Sleep Powder. Arcanine bounces out of that. That's an incomplete pass. The flag waves and the match begins. Venusaur going for a Sleep Powder. Arcanine just zooms past that. That does not work as Arcanine already charging up its Flare Blitz. Slams into Venusaur. The Sandstorm continuing, hits both Pokemon, but Venusaur really got hit on that last move. Venusaur, while Arcanine is going up, uses a Sludge Bomb that hits Arcanine, but he's charging through it using a Crunch on Venusaur. This is a very close combat match. Venusaur trying to go for another Sleep Powder. Doesn't hit again. That's back-to-back Sleep Powder misses for Venusaur. Arcanine using another Flare Blitz. Hits onto Venusaur, who is somehow still standing after two Flare Blitzes. Arcanine taking recoil damage from both of them. The Sandstorm continuing as Arcanine using extreme speed outspeeds Venusaur, who looked like he was going for a Frenzy Plant. does not work as Venusaur faints. The Sandstorm continues, and now this leaves a one-on-one matchup. Charizard versus Arcanine. These could be the aces of both of these trainers' teams. Here comes the matchup. Charizard at full health. Arcanine, who's already fought off Venusaur. Who can win this matchup right here? The flag waves. The matchup begins. Charizard flying up into the air. Arcanine trying to find a close area to go for. Charizard going for Air Slash. Arcanine gets hit and flinches, is messed up on the move. Sandstorm continuing. Arcanine uses extreme speed to try to get some quick damage. Charizard gets hit. Charizard, while Arcanine is right there, uses a powerful Dragon Pulse right there. Arcanine faints, and that's the game. That's it. It's all over. Red is victorious in this championship matchup, which means Red becomes the champion of the Kanto region. What a matchup between these two individuals. I hope you sincerely enjoyed it. I know I did. Red and Blue fought tooth and nail to find out who was the better trainer between the two, and after all of that work, all of that effort, Red becomes victorious on a 1-0 win. Last Pokemon for both trainers. And I have to think that Sandstorm was the reason why it got this close. A lot of strategy used by Blue. Blue is trying really hard here to use his strategic knowledge, trying to get slower Pokemon under a Trick Room, trying to use the Sandstorm to whittle down Red's health, because none of Red's Pokemon were able to withstand the Sandstorm. Beautiful strategy there, but ultimately fell short to the ultimate power that was Red's team. And Red, congratulations to him as he goes up on the stadium and collects his championship trophy. His Pokemon team goes into the Hall of Fame as the champion of the Kanto region, while Blue goes into the Hall of Fame as the second place individual. So here we go, Red's team of Blastoise, Charizard, Lapras, Pikachu, Snorlax, and Venusaur go in as champions. Blue's team, a fantastic job done by Blue, going all the way here. His team of Arcanine, Executor, Machamp, Pidgeot, Rhyperior, and Tyranitar did a fantastic job as well. Thank you so much for watching. You've been watching the Kanto Championship on WWAN 40.9. Thank you so much for watching again. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care.